that. When God gives you access to a table, he didn't just give you access. Once he gives you access, he then gave you an opportunity to create access for others.
Yeah.
To get to where you're going, you got to learn to be uncomfortable. So if you follow in a person that says they're a leader and they don't follow nobody, be very careful because they don't like accountability.
So earlier you had mentioned that you expected more people to be where you are throughout your journey. Do you ever experience like survivor's remorse?
Yeah, I'll tell you, it was when you first start off, you always think that everybody around you, they gonna go to the end with you. And the reality is that's not even, why God says seasons in life. And even in Cleveland, we got 4 seasons. Seasons are meant to change and they have different impacts in your life. Because guess what? In the winter, you're going to put a coat on, right? Mm-hmm. You ain't going to put that same, that Canada Goose on in the summer in Cleveland. You'll be in the middle of the road sleep because you overheated. So in different seasons in life, you need different, people to be there because either it's a book I read, Watch Them Grow or Watch Them Go. And the reality is everybody can't go with you. And then the other thing I'll say to that point as well is my mentor taught me about buckets as well. Because some people will go with you and they'll stay with you from the beginning to the end of your career because you understood buckets. And meaning that some people will be in the spiritual, they'll be in the finance, they'll be in the relational, they'll be in the business bucket. Some people will meet all 4. Mm-hmm. But at some point in your life, some of them will only be in maybe 1 out of the 4. And then now you're okay because now you've evaluated the relationship and you know where they stand. Mm-hmm. So now you don't get discouraged because I used to sometimes man, why won't they, this is my guy. He got to do all this with me. Yeah. And I realized he wasn't ready for this bucket. Mm-hmm. And he never asked for that bucket. But he want to be my boy and he going to ride with me. And if any, he going to stand with me. If I really need somebody, if I got sick right now and my wife got stranded, I can trust him to go get my wife and bring her to me. Yeah. And he's in that bucket. Mm-hmm. But he might not be in the business bucket. And I'm okay with that. So I would say, because I used to be hurt about that, man, I want to see my I want to see my people roll with me.
Right, for sure.
And I started looking around me. I'm like, I got all new people around me. This is weird.
Yeah.
Then I started to feel just to be honest, am I failing them? Has God grown me in some areas and I left them behind? Did I do something wrong? I felt like they're supposed to take advantage of this stuff with me. They're supposed to travel the world with me. They're supposed to meet all these different people with me. Yeah. And, and I realized that just wasn't what God's will. And the people that are supposed to be there will be there. Corner spot or going to the place or going to church where everybody know your name. Yeah. They know your name, so it makes you feel good. In order to get to where you're going, you got to learn to be uncomfortable. You're going to go in some rooms where nobody knows you and you don't know anybody. And so, but that's how you know you're in the right room. If you keep going in the same rooms and everybody knows your name and you're trying to build something, you're absolutely in the wrong places. Yeah. And that's how I evaluate when I go places now. It's if I walk in and I'm like, oh, man, who are all these people? Then I know I got work to do. It's time to go start shaking some hands. And you got to walk in confidence and know who you are. And again, I can't run from who I am. We put God on a budget. He don't have no budget. He puts you in a room so you're capable of doing what everybody else in that room is doing. Always remember that. Yeah. So I walk around and I act like I own the biggest company in the world. Yeah. Hey, how you doing? My name is Larese Purnell. Hey, what's your name? Who do you work for? So I asked them before they asked me. So some of you are uncomfortable because you feel like you've not gotten to where you are in life, so you don't want nobody asking you certain questions. Then what you do is just turn it on them. Mm-hmm. So I walk in the room, hey, how you doing? Hey, who do you work for? Oh, are you from Cleveland? And they start telling me. And one thing I realized about successful people, they love to talk about themselves.
For sure.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
I've been around some billionaires. I love them if they watching. I love you guys. But they going to tell me a story every time I need some advice.
Yeah.
So I got to hear. I know I'm going to hear the story. Tell me the stories. So I would just say to you, go to rooms and go to places and look up places that are about your industry. Mm-hmm. So if you're doing things in the credit industry, well, why are you going to things that have to do with cars? Mm-hmm. Like, why are you going to things that have to do with the hair industry? You're in credit. Like, why have you not been to a conference that has to do with credit? Yeah. If you're in accounting, how have you not been to a conference that has to do with accounting? If you're in technology, you get what I'm saying. Go to places where are people that are like you, that you can learn from, because nothing you have created, I've said this a million times, is new. You just haven't met the person who's done it before you.
Yeah.
So again, it's like, stop thinking you got the most unique idea that you're in the credit industry, right? Mm-hmm. Are you the only person who do that?
Nope.
Are you the first person who did it?
Nope.
I'm in accounting. I'm not the first, and I'm not going to be the last.
Right.
So the reality, somebody's done it better than both of us, and we can learn from them. So again, push yourself, get out there. And the last thing I'm going to say about that, when God gives you access to a table, he didn't just give you access. Once he gives you access, he then gave you an opportunity to create access for others.
Yeah.
And I take that very seriously. When I go on a board anywhere in this community, anywhere in this country, what I always say is I make sure, and Cleveland, you know it in this city, if I'm on a board, you will absolutely see somebody that I know on that board by the time I'm done.
Yeah.
Because my job is to get people. I'm going to shout him out. I called DJ Mill back in the day. I was going on to the YMCA of Greater Cleveland's board. And I called him. I said, hey, man, I want to get you on this board with me. And he was like, on a board? What would I be doing on a board, Larese? I said, I just want to get you to the table because I want you to see where the decisions are being made. Mm. And I remember telling them, and they asked me, like, so what's his background? People didn't know he was an educator in Cleveland Heights. And he was also a DJ. And I said, well, he's out, he's doing a lot of things with the community. I think he'll be a great community voice for us. And they didn't believe. So the reality is, don't worry about who they are. You know the value that they bring to that organization, but it's our job and responsibility to make sure that we pull somebody with us.
Yeah.
If you're the only one and you feel good about being the only one at the table, you got a problem.
Yeah.
And you need to get out the way because you are definitely in the way.
Yeah.
And the reality is, because we have a responsibility to make sure that we give access to others that look like us so that we can keep changing our community, because decisions are being made at those tables about the people and about the people, around the people, and impact the people that we love every day.
Yeah, for sure.
So again, I take that very seriously if you can't feel my passion.
Yeah, for sure. And that's a great thing because, like you said, you're a connector and you putting other people on. The big thing is with you have a brand and your name means something. Yeah. So how do you go about evaluating or
I know where you're going,
putting people on, like who deserves to be put on, or how can I trust them and put my stamp of approval behind them?
All right, why you got to do this, right? Well, he's starting stuff now. Look, no, but that's real. So no, but the reality is, I'll say this to you, is you do credibility means everything, because the day that person messes it up, they mess it up for everybody.
Yeah.
The day I mess it up for everybody. I mess it up for a lot of people, because there's a lot of people that trust our community because of me.
Yeah.
I'm telling you now, I know it.
Big responsibility.
Like, they would not do business with a lot of us if I wasn't at the table. I am forcing them and pushing them. And yeah, you heard me say the word force, because some of them did not care or did not know. It wasn't that they really didn't care in some cases. They just didn't know how to do business with us. Mm-hmm. Because just like we are uncomfortable doing business with other communities, they feel the same way. Why we think that's different? They don't understand us like we don't understand them in some cases. So I would just say to you is, before I put somebody in a position like that, because I learned that the hard way. When I first started, it was just like, I want to put everybody on. Everybody show up to this meeting. And I look up, I would get calls from organizations. I'll never forget this one. I took about 25 to 30 entrepreneurs downtown to an organization. I won't say their name. And I wanted to give access because I knew there was about $200 million worth of business coming to the city of Cleveland. I took these 25 to 30 entrepreneurs and I had them tell them all the opportunities so they could see how their businesses fit within it. Mm-hmm. And I told them, hey, we're going to have a follow-up meeting. Within a week, this organization's leaders called me and said, you got to do a better job of evaluating who you bring in the room. He said, I had about 7 to 10 of them call and reach out to me directly because they wanted to backdoor and figure out how they could be the person that we use. And so they don't realize they messed it up for everybody. Yeah. Because it took me a year and a half to get another meeting like that again. So they don't realize they blocked what it was for everybody. I didn't bring it just for you. I brought it for everybody. So that was a lesson to me. Be careful. Just because they got a brand, because they got a name, because you think they doing something, don't mean they have good character, don't mean they have good integrity, and don't mean that they even care about other people. So I evaluate that. So I'll tell you, one of the couple of evaluators that I have is, do you want to see somebody else win?
Okay.
And understand when I ask you that is I'm gonna hold you accountable to that. So don't just say it because you just want access to the opportunity. I'm gonna say, who you helping? And if you ain't helping nobody, you're not serious about it. And believe it'll be the last time I invite you to anything that I have access to. So again, I'm really big on that. And so again, it's just making sure that you ask the right questions, evaluate, are they gonna stick to it? Are they gonna show up? Because their work impacts the people that come behind them.
Yeah.
Or they could shut doors.
Yeah. So you're the trailblazer for a lot of people and organizations, not just here in Cleveland, but across the country. Yeah. So when it comes to understanding your brand, is there somebody that you look to say, hey, you've paved the way for me and I want to do the same thing for somebody else?
Yeah. So I got to shout out. I got, it's 3 men in this city that like are a true blessing to me. I have 12 advisors that are on my board of advisors for my company. So again, be careful following people who don't like to follow others. So if you follow in a person that says they're a leader and they don't follow nobody, be very careful because they don't like accountability. They don't like direction. They think they know it all, and I for sure every day I'm learning something new. Yeah. So again, I have those advisors that are very impactful to my business and have helped me and my partner since the beginning. But these 3 men, David Reynolds, who is I call him a kingmaker. Like this dude, like literally has been such a blessing in my business. Ted Ginn Sr., Coach Ginn, impactful. I can call him at 2:00 in the morning. I don't care what's going down. If Coach is around, Coach will pull up if I need him. And then Randy McShepard put me on boards when didn't nobody know my name. He would say, hey, I need you to go on this board. And I would be like, well, I need to go on this board, man. What does this have to do with me? And I realized he put me at tables at organizations that were making change in our community, and he wanted me to be a voice. He felt like I had a voice that could be impactful. And because of those guys, I literally, it's not even an option, Mark. Like, think about it. When we grew up, it was black men who owned Parker's Barbershop on 143rd, Snack Shack on 143rd, the Sunoco that used to be there back in the day, the McDonald's that's now a Family Dollar, the Save More. Yeah. It was the black manager there that let me put groceries in people's trunks so I could make a couple dollars, when I ain't had no for you. Remember that?
Yeah, for sure.
Look, we just grabbed it back.
I was just telling somebody that the other day.
Look, at Save More.
Hustle, Finance and Tops, that's right.
Man, come on. You know.
Buckeye Plaza, for sure.
Look, so we did that, and those are the guys that looked out for me. So I have a I don't have an option. I have a responsibility to make sure that I'm doing that for somebody else. And so I take that very seriously, but you asked the right question. I still got to be careful because sometimes you really don't know who's around you for a reason. And that's kind of scary, man.
Yeah, it's tough.
Like, and it didn't start to happen. And my wife, like and God will give you a good woman too. And they will be your eyes when you don't realize. Because my wife can be around and she's kind of a laid back person, but people know she's very, very real. Yeah. Grew up on 105 in Superior, like graduated from Glenville, but she's real. Like I always tell people, always meet her and be like, oh, she real.
Yeah.
But she's a very loving person, but she'll kind of nudge me like, kind of slow down on that.
Okay.
Because she might see something I don't see. And then I feel like God will give you those second set of eyes to be able to see, things that might be your blind spots.
Yeah. Okay.